long as you're still.
I'll be there, stand on the step that I don't
Okay. Tired out from it. What are you doing? Moving it? We don't need this on here. No. This is no one looking somewhat. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
We welcome you all, invite you to come into the sanctuary and find a seat. We welcome all of you who are live streaming from home, and we know that you will enjoy this very special service that Lily and her family have been preparing for months, if not years. And I'm going to invite you, before we begin, to just take a moment and look at your cell phones and make sure that they're on silent so that we don't disturb the sanctity of this occasion. My name is Gail Pomerantz. I'm the rabbi here today, and I'm with Cantor Lisa Siegel, and our Bat Mitzvah, Lily, also known as Leah, will be leading most of the service, so we invite you to please participate with open hearts and enjoy fully. Please join us in our singing and our prayers. And we're going to open this afternoon with a melody called a nigun. That is a wordless melody, so nobody has any excuses for not participating because everyone knows the words. There are none.
I'm told if anybody sits in this section, they're going to get a big prize from the Grodins. Just. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la. One second. I forgot to plug my guitar in. I'm so sorry. Okay. We're going to do it one more time. Great. There we go. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la invite our Bat Mitzvah to join me here on the bima. And Lily, Leah, this is the moment you are going to receive your talit from your parents' loving hands. And before you do, I just want to talk for a moment about the significance of this talit. And that is in the four corners, because these four corners, known as the tzitzit, are meant to remind us of our obligations to do mitzvot. And really, that's what today is all about. You're becoming a bat mitzvah means that you've reached an age of responsibility to do mitzvot, to do the right thing in the world, to be a mensch. Now, this talit is so beautiful that we learn one other thing from it that I want to share. There is a mitzvah called Hidur Mitzvah, which means not only doing the mitzvah, but making it beautiful. And I hope every time you wear it, you remember to make your mitzvot beautiful offerings of your heart. And now I'm going to invite your parents to present you with this talit from their loving hands. And now, Lily, you're going to recite the blessing before wearing a talit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehi ataf batziti.
Amen. And now you'll put it around your daughter's shoulders. And you can give her a big hug. And together we're going to thank God for enabling all of you to reach this very special moment in your lives with the words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman
And now we're going to continue our service with the chanting of the Ashrei on page 220.
We chant the Ashrei responsively. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehalelucha, selah.
Ashrei ha'am shekachalo, Ashrei ha'am shadonai Elohav.
Tehilat lezaviv, aramimcha Elochai hamelech, va'avarcha shimcha le'olam va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchecha, va'ala shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai umhulam me'od, ve'li gdulato ein cheker.
Dor ledor yishavach ma'asecha, ugvurotecha yagidu.
Hadar kevod hodecha, v'divrei niflaotecha asicha.
Ve'ezuz nerotecha yomeru, ugdulatecha asaprena.
Zecher rav tuvecha yabi'u, ve'sid katecha yiranenu.
Chanun v'rachum Adonai, erech alpayim ugdol chesed.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachama al kol ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidecha yivarchucha.
Kevod mahutecha yomeru, ugvuratecha yidaberu.
Lehodia lifnei ha'adam gevurotav, uchvod hadar malchutaho.
Mahutecha mahut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor.
Somech Adonai lechol hanoflihim, vezokef lechol hakafufihim.
Einei chol elecha yisaberu, ve'ata noten lachem e'ochlam beito.
Poteach et yadecha, umasbir lechol chayratzon.
Tzadik Adonai bechol derachav, ve'chasid bechol ma'asav.
Karov Adonai lechol kor ahav, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Ritzon yire'av ya'aseh, ve'et shalatam yishma ve'yoshiyeh.
Shomer Adonai et kol ohavav, ve'et kol shayim yashmid.
Tehilat Adonai yisaber pi, vivarech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam va'ed.
Va'anachnu nivarech ya, me'ata v'yad olam, hallelujah.
Please turn to page 224 for the Hatsi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach u'ritei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uv'izman kariv, v'yimeru, amen, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, Le'alam u'lomei hamaya yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar, v'yitalei, v'yitalal, shemei dekurasha, le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tush berchata v'nechemata,
da'amiran me'alma v'yimiru.
We turn to page 226 and rise for the Amidah. Adonai, safatati tak ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanova, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Haste Avot Ve'imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neichem, Lema'an Shemo Be'achava, Melech Ozer, Umoshia, Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני העפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממיד ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol.
We remain standing for the Kedusha on page 232.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרו, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו, אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו באדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד קודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד קודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם. all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
We continue with the Kedushat Hayom on page 234. Eloheinu velohe avotenu ve'imotenu ritzei vimnuhatenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest.
Kadeshenu be'mitzvotecha v'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha. Kadeshenu be'mitzvotecha v'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha. Sameinu mituvecha v'safecheinu b'shuatecha. Sameinu mituvecha v'safecheinu b'shuatecha. Yalai lai 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 lai, yalai lai 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 lai, yalai 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 lai 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 lai, Kadesh HaShabbat.
We continue with the Ritzei prayer, pages 236 to 237. We continue with the prayer of gratitude, Modim Anachnu Lach, on page 238. Modim Anachnu Lach, Shatha Hu Adonai Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Le'olam Va'ed. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed you are, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lahodot. We sing together a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, page 240.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha le'aveh et amecha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take a few moments for our own silent reflection. Like her sister Jenna, who came before her, AU Phi Alpha Tau, University of Florida. Thank you. My sister. And her mom and all of her family. Today's your day. Today's your day. You get the applause today, because today is your day that you take your stand amongst your friends and your family who loves you, to take that Torah into your hands, to chant its beautiful words and teach its beautiful message. Today is the day that you take your place. Taking your place in an enduring line. This is the day that you stand up to say, our tradition is mine. You will now read the Torah. It's been passed on to you. It's our law and our story, and each telling is new. It is said we stood at Sinai, and today you know you're there. You're the promise of a people, a blessing and a prayer. Taking your place in a resilient line. This is the day that you stand up to say, our tradition is mine. You will now hold the Torah. It's been passed on to you. You're the face of our future and the reason we last. Lahalechet biracha v'lishmor mitzvotav kol hayamim. May you walk in God's ways, and may all of your days be blessings. It is said we stood at Sinai, and today you know you're there. You're the promise of a people, a blessing and a prayer. You're the promise of a people, a blessing and a prayer.
We're going to continue our service with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of the Torah, which is the main event here at our services today. I invite you to turn to page 244 in your prayer books. And I'm also going to call your attention to this brochure with Lily's beautiful punim, her beautiful face on the cover. Inside here are listed the honors that take place in this portion of the service. So please be aware, just as these people just were, so that you don't miss your honor for this part of the service. There is none like you among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will bless our people with peace.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai merushalayim, baruch shenatan Torah HaTorah, baruch shenatan Torah HaTorah, le'amo Yisrael be'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromima Shemo Yachdav.
Lily, Leah, this is the Torah, Israel's Morashah, Israel's sacred heritage and our inheritance. Wherever the Jewish people has been, the Torah has been with us, guiding us, teaching us, keeping us on the right path. This is the day that you recognize that the Torah was written for you. In fact, your Hebrew name, Leah, is all over the first section of the Torah as one of our great matriarchs. The great rabbi who has recently passed away, Jonathan Sacks, who was the chief rabbi of England, said that we only pass on to our children that which we ourselves love. And so this Torah has been passed from hand to hand through the generations so that you would receive it here today. And symbolic of that chain of tradition, I'm going to call up your grandparents and your parents to pass the Torah to you.
gifts, and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope, and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words, and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. The door of a door, nagid god lecha. The door of a door, we protect this chain from generation to generation. The door of a door, these lips will praise your name. The door of a door, nagid god lecha. The door of a door, we protect this chain from generation to generation. The door of a door, these lips will praise your name. Lecha Adonai Hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'mitnaseh lechol erod. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, 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 yiram You all may be seated. And now I'm going to invite up Lily's sister, Jenna, and her parents to share some words of love and blessing with her.
I probably will. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you everyone for being here. It means so much to us. Okay. Until recently, I called Lily Child as a nickname. This started as a joke because it bothered her, so of course, being the annoying big sister that I am, it stuck. But as I said it more, I realized why I first called her that. Sure, I want to protect her like she's my child because of our close bond and large age gap, and I always will. And that sometimes means I will act as a stand-in mom, so I have earned the nickname of Mom Number 2. But the ironic humor in the nickname child was that Lily has never been seen as a child in my eyes. Physically, it is difficult to look down to Lily because she's now taller than me. Emotionally, though, Lily is always poised and mature. She takes care of everyone around her and strives to treat people with kindness and compassion. Also at home, we treat her with the maturity level of an adult. Our family's nightly dinner conversations sometimes have intellectual merit way beyond your years, and Lily will be the one leading the discussion and asking all the questions. So for an example, Lily and my mom visited me at college last year, and naturally I started talking about how I was trying to learn how to value companies as I'm pursuing a finance major. Now, I know this detail seems like I'm making this day about me, but really it's to say that this complex concept that most college students, and fairly most adults, don't understand couldn't faze Lily, as she didn't ask me to stop boring her and talk about something else, but instead she was asking the questions and understanding all the things I had troubles with. This was only one moment out of a million that I had to remember, wait, she's 11? Now 12, almost 13. So Lily, today as you transition from child to young adult, I hope you continue to grow, be curious, sometimes nosy, and show everyone how much of a star you are. Lily, I wish I could be home more to hug you and show how proud I am of you, but all I can do is try to be better at calling you consistently. However, one thing is certain, you complete me in this family. Know that no matter how far we are apart as we both grow up, we will always be each other's best friends and shoulders to lean on. I may not have gotten the puppy I wanted when I was 7. Gigi came much later, but I got the best thing that has ever happened to me. Enjoy yourself tonight because you deserve it. Mazel tov.
They're the tears.
I'm good. She good?
We got tissues.
I hope not. Let's see if I do or not. Welcome, everyone. If you will allow me, I'd like to begin with a flute solo. Anybody want to? No? Just kidding. How about a round of applause, though, for my talented wife? Let me start by thanking everyone in attendance, all who traveled from near and far, all who instructed, prepared, and counseled Lily for this special day, and even those who were invited but not able to attend. It means that you share a special bond with our family as we celebrate Lily's coming of age. Lily has grown into a wonderful young woman. I am so fortunate to have 3 wonderful young women under my roof. They are the most important part of my life, and I often think about how lucky I am to have these beautiful, intelligent, and vibrant women to share this journey with. Lily's journey into adulthood includes this bat mitzvah. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the first American girl to become a bat mitzvah. Interestingly, boys have become bar mitzvahs since the 14th century, but girls had to wait. But wait for what? What does becoming a bat mitzvah really mean? In a recent meeting with Rabbi Pomerantz, she asked Lily, Dana, and I that precise question. What does becoming a bat mitzvah mean to us? She prefaced her question by saying there are no wrong answers. Ultimately, all 3 of us answered this question a bit differently. Dana's answer focused on both the spiritual and ritual learnings that Lily could take from the experience and use throughout her life. Lily focused on how this would be an expression of how she will live a life doing good deeds, mitzvot. Yeah, I think you did. My view of becoming a bat mitzvah is that it's a rite of passage and a key milestone in Lily's connectedness into the American Jewish culture. But putting aside our answers, maybe it's most instructive to think about what Judith Kaplan thought it meant to her 100 years ago. Judith was the first American girl to become a bat mitzvah. She was not even allowed to stand on a bima like this one because she was a girl. I'm thinking that she felt that becoming a bat mitzvah meant hope to her. Resilience and hope are central to the Jewish mindset and experience. After all that we've been through as a people, that it must be. When I'm around Lily, I see and feel hope. As parents, Dana and I often play this game called Which Parent Handed Down This Personality Trait to Our Kid? I'm sure some of you do that too. From very early on, I thought that Lily was about 90% Dana. And I'm thrilled with that. But somewhere in those percentages, whether it comes from me or Dana or is something uniquely Lily, is her empathy and resilience. Those are traits we need more of now and in future generations. Lily's got it. And that gives me hope for her future. Hope that she will perform mitzvot and provide hope to others, and that she will receive it back when she faces adversity. One of the unique ways that Jews, particularly American Jews, have dealt with adversity and maintained hope is through self-deprecating humor. So in closing, I'd like to end with a few riddles written by the late Gilbert Gottfried. Our family had the opportunity to spend some time with Gilbert and his family over the past several years. Gilbert, of course, was known for telling some jokes that you would definitely not tell in a sanctuary like this. However, I'm going to leave you with a couple of clean riddles that Gilbert told. I'd like to think that these riddles were Gilbert's legacy to his kids and the hope that they gave him. So let's go here. And chime in if you know the answer to this riddle. What does a car spread on toast? Anyone? Traffic jam. They get better. Why did the Word call a meeting of the other words? Close. He wanted to make sure they were all on the same page. And lastly, why do you have to speak loudly to fish? Anyone? Because they're hard of hearing. Maybe we should see a sturgeon about that. Mazel tov, Lily. I love you.
I promise you no more Gilbert jokes. Shabbat Shalom. Lily. I want to start first by thanking everyone in this room and on the Zoom at home for joining us tonight for Lily's Bat Mitzvah. Each of you hold a special place in our lives, and it means everything to us that you made it here. There's so much love in this room, and I feel it all, especially after playing my flute, so thank you. To the Temple Beth Shalom clergy and staff, specifically Cantor Nicholson, who is here tonight, Barb Shemansky, Rabbi Gail Pomerantz, Cantor Lisa Siegel, Sisterhood, Mason, Diana, Mark Baranak, and Chaim, a special thank you for always making Lily feel special and our family feel loved and valued underneath this beautiful spiritual tent of ours. To my family and friends that made a priority to be with us today, you came from Costa Rica, from California, from New York, from Elk Ridge, from Vieira to even north of the Golden Glades Interchange. Thank you. I'm so happy you made it. To my parents and my sister, none of this would be possible without you. I promise to be a good worker via Gem Corps to make up for lost time spent planning today. And I also promise you a great party tonight. To Jenna, my Jenna, the times we've been home from school has been too short. You leave tomorrow for Israel, and I miss you already. Thank you for being your sister's best friend and confidant. May the relationship you have with each other only grow richer in time. And finally, to my best friend in life and my love, Howard, thank you for always being there in my corner, no matter what. Thank you for making the beautiful montage that has me in tears every single time I watch it. And thank you for being you and completing me. I love you so much. Thank you. Lily.
Oh, okay.
Lily. I can do this. Okay. Your Torah portion today is the same exact one that your sister chanted this very weekend 7 years ago. Isn't it interesting that both you and Jenna recited a portion focusing on the significance of the 7th year, the sabbatical year, when God commands us to take a year off, to harvest, to reflect, and recharge? Looking back to the summer of 2009, our family experienced its own kind of sabbatical year and harvest when Lily Jo Grodin came into our lives. 7 years, almost to the very day after Jenna. She was named Lily by her sister after a character on Hannah Montana. That is true. With the middle name of Joe to honor her late grandpa, Joe Grodin. Our family of 3 grew to the family foursome that I always pictured I'd have. A handsome husband, check. Sisters who would be best friends like me and Allie, check. And a bonus, she even looked like me, which was, I didn't get that with Jenna, I got that with me. So with one baby at home and another in elementary school, the early years were a real blur of diapers, vomit, ear infections, and timeouts. You know it. Kidding, I'm kidding, not really. The time did seem to fly by, but not without those moments that I met the Lily we know and love today. You were about 15 months old, walking for about a month or 2, and we were at Peacock Park in the Grove, right? And I gave you a tennis ball to play with. How's that for foreshadowing? You'd pick up your first racket about 6 years later from this day, but this day you started to kick the ball very methodically, like a soccer player working on his skills. I was like, wow, look at my kid's crazy coordination. I may have an athlete. I wasn't wrong. This kid can do it all. She's settled on tennis, but swimming, gymnastics, skateboarding, skiing, biking, well, she is settled on tennis, and God bless her, because it's one of the few sports that Howard and I both love and still play together, along with my mom and my dad and my sister. But really, she'd cream us all in a family tournament. She's really good. So her coaches love her because she's coachable. The kids love her because she's a great teammate. She listens, she absorbs, she executes. I was not an athlete growing up. I was a flautist. So it was far from it. The closest I ever got to playing was to cover them.
Okay, go.
I'm going. But watching your ground strokes turned me to mush. Keep up the great work, Lily. Yeah, I'm so proud of you and hope you are proud of yourself too with all you've accomplished here today and on the court. Because with hard work comes results, and you're just going to get better and better. Your dad and I will always be cheering for you and supporting your dreams as long as you continue to love the game and want to work at it. I'm not even halfway done, so you take a chill. In our house, as Howard said, we joke that Jenna is 70% Howard and 30% me, while Lily is 99.9% me. But I wish that were true and I had Lily's gifts, starting with her innate empathy, as Howard mentioned before. She has an innate ability to make others feel heard, cared for, seen, special, and known. It is something that I greatly admire and I'm inspired by every day. But as your mom, I also want to caution you to guard that empathy and not grant it too easily. You're really doing a fantastic job, Lily, making smart choices in friends and in life, because despite missing a full year of in-person school due to the pandemic, you are thriving academically and socially. I love your friends, and I know they adore you too. They are engaging, you're intelligent, polite, respectful, and supportive, and you have parents that love you, Lily, like you were their own. You are so lucky to have that. Well, there's one more superpower you have, and to me, it is your defining trait. It's the one that's going to carry you to so much success in life, and you've heard me say it before. It's your charisma. And Lily, you've got it in spades. Oxford Dictionary defines charisma as compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. Well, you just need one conversation with Lily to know that she has that special something. It's sometimes hard to qualify charisma, but with you, I can. You listen. You look people in the eye when you talk to them. You speak confidently. You know how to lead a group. You are approachable. You smile at people often, and you know how to get along with anyone. Why do you think that no one believes you are only 12? I'm guilty too, and I was there when you were born. Lily, I want you to know how amazing and special it is to have all these skills. Be proud of them, use them for good, make good choices. Don't be afraid to apply your special gifts in the best of ways at school, home, on the court, through your teens and beyond. I'm going to close with a poem. I'm sorry, here it is. It's called Our Wish. We wish for you to be a person of character, strong but not tough, gentle but not weak. We wish for you to be righteous but not self-righteous, honest but not unforgiving. Wherever your journey, may your steps be firm and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid. Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship. May your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and beautiful in the world. May the voices of the generations of our people move through you. And may the God of our ancestors be your God as well. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, and from that sacred place you are connected to all who dwell on earth. May the stories of our people be upon your heart, and may the grace of the Torah rhythm dance in your soul. I love you, Lily, and I am so proud of you. I made it to the end. I love you.
You want to?
Nope, good.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
So we are going to proceed with the Torah service at this time. And as you heard from Dana, this Torah portion, Bahar, this for a mincha and afternoon service, we always leap to next week's Torah portion. So it is Bahar, the second to the last Torah portion in the book of Leviticus. And as you heard from Dana, it has to do with the sabbatical year. And also then the Jubilee year, which is the 7th of the sabbatical years. So 7 times 7, the 50th year in the cycle. And you'll be hearing more about it from our Bat Mitzvah in just a few moments. First, she's going to call up her aliyot. Oh, I'm going to invite you, if you'd like, to put away your prayer books for now and take out your big, thick Torah commentaries under your seat if you wish to follow along with Leah's chanting. She's beginning on page 850, chapter 25, verse 1.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah harishona. For the first aliyah, I would like to call up my grandparents, Carolyn and Richard Heist, and Susan Chasteen and Stephen Grodin, to the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah tamet. Baruch.
Let's try again. Ready? From the beginning. Okay. Baruch hu et Adonai
Aloha.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher tabib b'kol amim v'natan la'on Torah. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai HaMoshe bechar Sinai lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael va'amarta aleichem ki tavu el haaretz asher ani noten lachem v'shavata haaretz Shabbat l'Adonai shesh shanim tizra sadecha v'shesh shanim tizmor karmecha ve'asafarta et tevuata. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah hashniya. For the second aliyah, I would like to call out my aunts and uncles and cousins, Allison, Kevin, and Stella, and Sam McClaney, and Lisa, Kevin, and Josh Santa Cruz to the Torah.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'Harfanu Mikol Ha'amin V'Nata Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. Uvashana hashavi'it. Shabbat, Shabbaton, Yeh la'aretz. Shabbat, Ladonai, Sadecha, Lo tizra, V'chermecha, Lo tizmor. Et Safiya ketirecha, Lo tivsor. Ve'et ineve nezirecha, Lo tivsor. Shenat Shabbaton, Yeh la'aretz. V'hayata Shabbat ha'aretz lachem la'ochla lecha u'avdecha ve'la'amatecha ve'lishirecha u'toshavecha hagarim imach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah hashlishi. For the third aliyah, I would like to call out my parents, Dana and Howard Grodin, and my sister Jenna to the Torah. Avi, Herschel, Yitzchak, Pincus, Ben Yisrael, Veshandel, Marte, Zelda, Emi, Chaya, Masha, Bat Yerachmeel, Vechasia, Ve'achoti, Gisha, Bella, Bat Herschel, Yitzchak, Pincus, Vechaya, Masha.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'Harfanu Mikol Ha'amim V'Natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. V'aliv hentecha v'lahaya asher be'artzecha tiyeh kol tevuata le'echo v'safarta lecha shava shabbatot shanim sheva shanim sheva pa'amim v'hayu lecha yemei sheva shabbatot hashanim Teisha ve'arba'im ima shana.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So our final aliyah is known as the Moffter, and it's the final verses in the Torah portion. You'll find them on page 854, chapter 25, beginning with verse 55. And it is our custom to read this Moffter from our Sephardic silver scroll, which is in the Ark. So we are going to open the Ark and invite you all to please rise. This is Lily's Bat Mitzvah Aliyah when she is called to the Torah as a Bat Mitzvah.
Tamod Tamod Habachura Bat Mitzvah Va'aliyah Torah Leah Bat Hershel Yitzchak Pinkas V'chaya Masha Chizki
Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Ki li v'nei Yisrael avadim avadaichem asher hotzeti otam me'eretz Mitzrayim. Ani Adonai Elohechem lo ta'asu lahem elilim ufasa umatzeva lo takimu lachem ve'even maskit lo titanu be'artechem lahishtahavot alecha Ki ani Adonai Elohechem et Shabbatotai tishmoru umikdashi tira'u ani Adonai. Thank you. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Hayei Olam Nata B'Tochenu Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Mazel tov. Not only was it beautiful, I think it was maybe an Olympic record for time. You may be seated.
The Havdalah for Shabbat Bachar can be found on page 861. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Bin V'im Tovim V'Ratzah V'Divrechem HaNe'emarim Be'emet Baruch Atah Adonai Chavocher Batorah Uv'Moshe Avdo Uv'Yisrael Amo Uv'Nviei Ha'emet V'Tzedek. Vayomer Yirmiyahu Haya Davar Adonai Elai Lemor Hinei Hanam El Ben Shalom Todecha Ba Elecha Lemor Hinei Lecha Et Sadi Asher Ba'anantot Ki Lecha Mishpat Hageula Liknot. Our Havdalah continues toward the end at verse 25. Ve'ata amarta Elai Adonai Elohim Kenei lecha hasadei ba'kesef ve'ha'ed edim ve'ha'ir nitana be'yad hakasdim vayhi davar Adonai el Yirmiyahu lemor hinei ani Adonai Elochai kol basar hamimeni hipalei kol davar. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Zor Kol HaOlamim Tzadik Bechol Hadorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer Ve'oseh Hamdaber Umkayen Shekol Devarav Emet V'Tzedek Al HaTorah Ve'al HaAvodah Ve'al HaNevi'im Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shanatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu liknu shavelimnucha lehavod utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach uvarchim otach yitvarech shilcha befi kol hai tamid leolam va'ed baruch ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Oh, yeah. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to people watching on Zoom, and especially the ones that came from out of town. Moments ago, I chanted from the Torah, specifically the Torah portion Bachar. It is found in the book of Leviticus, which is the third book of Torah. In Bachar, God instructs Moses to tell the Israelites that every 7th year the land shall observe a Sabbath of complete rest. Fields should not be sown, and vines should not be pruned. It also elaborates on the Jubilee year. During this time, the slaves are released, and the land that was sold during that time should be returned to its original owner. My portion reminds me of the terrible pandemic we faced, starting in 2020. From the second half of Leviticus 25:10, it shall be a jubilee for you. Each of you shall return to your holding, and each of you shall return to your family. In lockdown, that was all we wished to do, to return to our family once again. In Bachar, the land is to lay fallow for 2 years. 1 year for the sabbatical year, which occurs on the 49th year, and the other year, which is the Jubilee year. Nothing is to be planted, and God promises the Israelites that enough food will grow for them to eat and stay healthy. Sound familiar? 2 years ago, we were all told that a vaccine was in the making, and that until then, there were minor things that could help us stay safe. But what was there to do? In a complete lockdown, all you could do was look forward to the time where it will all be over, and you can return to your original routine. Like the Israelites, all we could do was wait until life got better. Now we are here, gathered together without masks. I'm grateful to celebrate with all of you here on the Bima as a Bat Mitzvah. I've looked forward to this moment for years. I've always thought of it as a milestone. But for what? I realized that it's a milestone in my journey through exploring my connection to Judaism. Becoming a Bat Mitzvah has taught me responsibility, dedication to my studies, and how to set my priorities. Along my journey through Judaism, I have learned a lot about the importance of giving back and doing mitzvot. I've always been aware of important issues around the world. One that sticks out to me is the fact that to this day, people still don't have the freedom they should. That is why I chose to fundraise for an organization that works to prevent human trafficking. Free the Slaves is an organization that works to end the conditions that allow human trafficking to exist. With the help of all of you, we have raised over $800 towards this cause. Thank you to everyone that donated to support my project. Speaking of thank you, I would like to thank Rabbi Pomerantz and Cantor Siegel for being a part of this special day with me. Thank you to Cantor Nicholson for helping me get to this day. It wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you to Barb for being my mentor. I always enjoyed our meetings and seeing you every Monday at JLab. Thank you to my Northeast family, who I always have a good time with. I love visiting you guys and spending time with you wherever. Special thank you to Mitch and Unionwear for everything you did for tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to my camp friends, who I always have the best summers with. You guys mean so much to me, and I can't wait to have another great summer in just a couple of weeks. Thank you to all my school friends who I've gotten close with over the years. You guys are so amazing, and I can't think of any other people I'd rather spend my days, afternoons, and weekends with. Thank you to Cousin Josh, Aunt Lisa, and Uncle Kevin for always being an important part of my life. Thank you to Grandpa Steve for coming all the way from Costa Rica. It means so much to me that you could be here. Thank you, Grandma Sue, for coming all this way. I love how we share the same interest in baking, and I always look forward to our weekly calls. Thank you to Sam and Stella for being the best cousins ever. Whether it's sharing a house in Massachusetts or swimming in Anna and Poppy's pool, no matter where we are, we always have a good time. Thank you to Allie and Kevin for everything you do for me. You are like my second parents, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you, Nana and Poppy, for always being my biggest supporters. I'm extremely thankful that you guys are so involved in my life. I love playing tennis with you, Nana, and always laughing my head off with you, Poppy. You both mean so much to me, and I love you endlessly. Whew, okay. Jenna, thank you for setting the bar so high that I could reach it and then bring it back down to a normal level. You are my best friend that I can go to anything for. You always give the best advice, and you always know how to respond to every situation. Thank you for sharing my love for Princess Diaries and always going with me to Under the Mango Tree. I love you always and support you through everything. Okay. Mom, thank you for everything you do for me. You are always my #1 fan. I can come to you for everything. You are always so willing to listen and help me the best you possibly can. I'm so amazed how dedicated you are in everything you do. No matter how hard a task is, you always put 100% energy in it. You never give up on anything, and I aspire to do the same. I couldn't have asked for a better mom. I love you so much, and thank you for making this day possible. Dad, thank you for being the best ever. Thank you for sending me many articles that are surprisingly helpful. I love watching whatever sport with you and rooting for our favorite teams together. You've taught me to always keep my mind open to suggestions, open to new ideas, and open to new concepts. I love playing tennis with you at any time of day. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and I love being Daddy's little girl. In closing, thank you for your trust and the opportunity to be with you all today. Okay.
Okay, Lily, Leah, wow, you are such a dynamic and impressive young woman and so positive. Earlier in the week when I saw her and the beginnings of this cold were happening, she was just like, oh, I have enough time that I'm going to feel better by the time of my bat mitzvah. I mean, everything is just so positive. And when you told me about how much you love tennis, I couldn't get this image out of my mind of you like serving, lobbing, slamming, backhand, anything that comes your way through life, that you are going to be able to respond to it with strength, with vigor, with positivity, because that's the kind of person you are. And it was interesting when you told me about what you thought were one of the biggest problems in the world today, about the divisions between people, and that you felt that you had a role to play in solving that problem, that you had agency. And that is such an important way to look at problems, that we are not victims, but that we have the ability to solve those problems. And the way that you said to solve it is to listen to people, to have curiosity and to have empathy, even for people who have very different opinions than us. I hope everybody hears that, because we are living at a time of such fracture and division, and if we all listen to what Lily said, listen with empathy, listen with curiosity, hear where people are coming from, then our world would be a much happier place. Your Torah portion has a blanket statement, a simple but very profound statement that says, "You shall not wrong another." And the rabbis want to understand more of what that means, because it's such a big statement, "You shall not wrong another." And they give examples, and one of the examples is, you should never remind somebody about something bad they did in the past. You should never embarrass anyone. You should always think about how the other person feels. And you know, that is a hard way to go through life. It really is, because it means being generous and open-hearted. And I feel that you really set an example for us. And I hope and pray that as you grow older, that you don't become cynical, that you keep that open-hearted nature of yours. You know, you have great role models in your parents and in your big sister. And I'm so proud to see you take your place beside them. And really, it was such a joy to watch your parents' faces during this service and to feel their pride, their nachas, their joy in watching you. And your big sister, your second mother too, was feeling the same way. We're all so proud of you.
you.
And now it's my great honor and pleasure to bless you on behalf of all of your clergy with the words of the ancients. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikunecha. May the light of God's face shine on you and shine through you always the way it does today, and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you and grant you a lifetime of blessing, of positivity, of empathy, of joy, of good health, and of shalom, of peace. And I know you will be among those to help to bring that peace to our world. Amen. I should have had you take your shoes off first. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
And now we're going to, yes, celebrate. Dana started clapping. Woo! So we're going to take a moment to sing Eitz Chaim Hi, and as we do, we're going to pass out candy throughout the congregation and sing a song. So please join in.
Eitz Chaim Hi, lema'chazikim ba, v'tomcheha me'oshar. Eitz Chaim Hi, lema'chazikim ba, v'tomcheha me'oshar. Adonai elecha v'nashuva hashivenu. Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh amenu kekedem.
So now we have this wonderful custom of showering our bat mitzvah with sweetness, just as she has showered us with sweetness throughout the service. But we do have some rules around this, Eli. We have some rules. The rules are that you cannot run up to the bima and whack her with the candy. You have to stay where you are and gently toss the candy upon her. And being the proactive young lady that Lily is, she has already chosen 3 shomrot, 3 guards to help protect her from all this sweetness. And the last rule, no, there's one more rule. Let's see. Do we have any kids here younger than 13? We do? Okay. Anybody younger than 13? When all the candy comes on the bima, you all run up here and help us to clean the bima. And the last rule is you wait till I get off the bima. There you go.
Simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, yeilanu. Simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov, simin tov, mazel tov, simin tov,
Come on up. Okay, we're going to turn to page 282. I invite the congregation to rise as you're able, and I invite those who have been asked to open the ark a second time to please come up. And we're going to return the Torah to the ark and sing Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד
I invite the congregation to remain standing as we turn to page 294 for words of Kaddish. At this time, we think of all your beloveds who have departed this earth, but who remain with you always in your hearts. And for our families, we remember especially these people: Sonia Feiertag, Bella Heiss, Rose Grodin, Gussie Tenner, Joe Grodin, Samuel Feiertag, Hyman Heiss, and Wes Chasteen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing to you who knew them and loved them. We think as well as a congregation of the 6 million men, women, and children who perished in the Shoah. We think about the over 24,000 Israeli soldiers who died so that we would have a Jewish homeland. And we think about our American soldiers who have died defending our liberties. And on this Shabbat in May, we think about all of those who are dying senseless deaths in the Ukraine. We pray for their well-being and safety. Together, we praise God, we thank God for their lives with these words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei d'kedusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the author of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved here and everywhere with God's blessing of peace. Amen. You may be seated. And now it's my pleasure to invite Leah to stand next to me and to call up our director of our religious school. Oh, she's already up here. Everybody's jumping the gun here today. Okay, here we go. Barb Shemansky and Mark Baranek are going to present gifts to our bat mitzvah.
Lily Joe. So when I reached out to your mom and said it was time to start setting up your mentoring appointments, she said, I'm so glad that you're Lily's mentor. You have such a special relationship and it's just going to get deeper. And I was so touched by that. You are really a Jewish educator's dream, not just because of what you did here today, though that was amazing. I think you've been coming to J-Lab since 4th grade, is that right? Yeah. You have always come here with such joy and such willingness to learn and desire to learn and just jump in wholeheartedly. You have such, Judaism is just such an innate part of your neshama, your soul, and I know that you're just going to carry that with you for your whole life. I remember last year you took it upon yourself to adjust your tennis schedule to make sure you could still fit JLab in, even though we were still online and everyone was just over it. But you were like, nope, I gotta come to Hebrew. You lamented a little while ago, not today, but a few months ago, about your friends who sort of stopped coming after their Bar Bat Mitzvah. I will not name names, but you know who you are. And you couldn't fathom why they wouldn't keep coming. I walked into your art class a couple weeks ago, and you and Jordan were having this competition over who knew the Kiddush better, and you were chanting away in a class that wasn't even Hebrew. These things make me very happy. And when we had our mentoring sessions, you jumped right in. There was no hesitation. You just wrapped your arms around that Torah, and metaphorically today, literally. And it was great. I loved every minute of it. And so I'm very honored to be up here today and able to present you with these gifts from the congregation, one of which is your very own Tanakh, so you can continue your Torah study. You can be Chavruta partners. It'll be super fun. I should mention that really what I'm proudest of you about is the dress with the pockets. We've already discussed, but I do want to say that publicly. Also, to continue celebrating and observing your Judaism at home, we have a lovely Kiddush cup for you to use in your Shabbat observance. And lest anybody doubt that you became Bat Mitzvah today, we have a lovely certificate that is signed by the clergy and our president. So mazel tov to you, and I'm going to turn it over to Mark, but I'm going to give you a hug first. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Grodin. It's very nice to be standing up here. It's very possible that when your sister was up here at her bat mitzvah, I may have looked over this way and I said, it's going to be your turn before you know it. And now it's here. Time flies by. It's amazing. I've watched you grow up to be this lovely young lady, bright, mature, and I wish you only the best in the future. I know I don't have to tell you this, but you know the door's always open for you, for all the activities we have here, for Beshti, for JLab, and for youth activities and trips and all the other things that we have to offer, and I know you'll take part in that. So really should be very proud of everything you've done. Everyone who's sitting here in the congregation knows how beautifully you've done, and really, so congratulations. I have a few more gifts. This is a certificate that a tree has been planted in the land of Israel. One day when you go to Israel, you'll see the tree, okay? No, you won't, but it's okay. You won't. You will not see that tree. But we hope you will go, because we have these gift certificates, one for the Nifty in Israel program after 10th grade, and one for the Alexander Muss High School in Israel program. Should always be nice moments like this to celebrate with your grandparents, your folks, uncles, aunts, friends. Look at all the nice friends. And by the way, friends, you're a whole bunch of nice kids. You're behaving pretty, not bad. You're doing great, and it's just a few more minutes. So mazel tov, and it should always be really nice moments like this. Mazel tov, honey.
Okay, you did it.
Yay.
So now we're going to conclude our service with a ritual called Havdalah, which means separation. We separate between the sweetness of Shabbat and the rest of the week. Today we take some of that extraordinariness and sweetness with us into the coming week, and I'm going to invite the whole Grodin family to come forward and stand up here with their daughter and sister for these brachot. For the rest of us, I invite you to rise if you want, put your arms around each other as we sing this Havdalah Melody.
Melech haolam.
turn to each other and say Shavua Tov, a good week, a sweet week, as we sing these words.
Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace, may gladness reign and joy increase. Shavua Tov.